Just want to make sure everybody can hear me. Some people are joining by phone. Some are on without video, but I just want to make sure everyone can hear me. Just say hi if you can. Okay, well, I am just going to move forward and say that everyone can hear me. Thank you for coming to Thinking Smart About Healthcare. My name is Glennae. There are files available for tonight's presentation in the chat. So please feel free to get you a copy if you'd like to hear information about tonight, Thinking Smart About Healthcare. I am so very excited that you all showed up tonight. Thank you for coming to Thinking Smart About Healthcare. I'd just like to ask everyone a question. What if we can end our nation's health disparities by, number one, thinking or rethinking job stress, and number two, providing nursing products and services, as well as a healthcare community for America's most discriminated, our protected working class folks. And number three, creating a culture of employees who do see employment as empowerment to become executive leaders in their industries that not only advances the company's mission, but also protects them from vulnerability and protects the health of our consumers. My industry is healthcare, so someone else's could be law enforcement or even real estate. We have a problem with institutional racism in our industries, and I think that it's time for our employees to learn how to become executive leaders at all levels of employment so that they know how to do the job they are hired to do, which is follow workplace policy, anti-bias, and anti-discrimination laws. So thank you so much for showing up for tonight. I am Nurse Glennae. I am the founder and CEO of RX for Life, and also the founder of Nays Vision, which I started first, a publishing company, because I am a writer. So I'm the editor-in-chief there. I help career professionals to bridge the gap between workplace discrimination, health inequities, and financial loss. I've been doing this since 2012. I have a 30-year healthcare experience, a 17-year nursing experience in the areas of critical care, solid organ transplant, pain management, and peri and post-operative anesthesia, as well as cardiac catheterization. My passion is nursing. And I do believe that nursing belongs all up in your business, because the workplace, ironically, is the place that causes us the most job stress, but is unaddressed in the healthcare system. We could speculate for the reasons of why all of that happened all day long, but I am here to provide solutions for people who have jobs, who have careers, and are career professionals who are not in the workplace as a way to get into entrepreneurship, which is fine. But I'm talking about people who are dependent on their employers, learning the steps of what it takes to do the hard job, to do what they're hired to do, even when it feels like it's not the right thing to do. So I'm the author of Yet Here I Stand. Just have to show off some of my products. Give me a second. I'm the author of Yet Here I Stand, my journey from bondage to liberty, which is a memoir. And then Bias and Burnout, which is Bias and Burnout, 10 Power Moves for Healthcare Workplace Equity. And it's a healthcare business book. And it's also the basis of a book club that I'm going to introduce you to later on in the presentation. So please stay towards the end, okay? Both are beautiful reads, well written, and provide valuable, vital health information. You know, 2020, we all witnessed firsthand the harmful effect of institutional racism, what racism has, its effects on the health of our nation's workforce. Looking at the insurrections and everything that just take place one after another, we can see that our society is still divided. As a Black woman registered nurse who suffered 4 years of systemic employment discrimination within a major US hospital and then fired for disability, I got the receipts to prove that, you guys. I could tell you firsthand that the system has equal access to the law. However, it's the people who lack the knowledge and who are biased in their own thinking and perspective of how to pursue rights and are fearful, rightfully, because they don't want to lose their job, and doubtful that the God we serve will come in and help while you're in the fire. So, causing so many people to doubt and quit before reaching equity. I finished the race, and I'm here to share this information with you because the fact is that administrative and current medical treatment plans contribute to poor mental, physical, and societal health outcomes for those men and women who are bold enough to file EEO complaints and who are bold enough to say, hey, my job is doing this, that, and another, and I feel discriminated against. Those people, those men and women need our help, our professional help, my experience, and I would love to share it with them so that it's just to instill a piece of hope for them, okay? Because there's a shift for unity happening right now, and I just want to be the praxis that makes sure that it binds together without having to focus on race and race relation, but policy and understanding what our obligation is to pursuing our own rights in the workplace. So our subject tonight is equity and workplace discrimination. I just want to just let you all know before I go any further that there were many people who also registered for, not registered, but gave notice that they wanted to come to Thinking Smart. But I had to kind of put security on it because of all of the negative ways that people, the negative comments that people kind of like bombard them way into private Zoom calls. And so I wanted to make sure that Thinking Smart stays vetted, Thinking Smart stays a safe environment, because people come here to express very painful and hurtful things that are happening and really want solutions to prevent disease and despair from taking over their life, because we need our jobs, right? We need our jobs, but we also need to know how to practice faith in the workplace. Because you have to read my story. I don't want to get into it right now. So thank you again for showing up. Thank you so much for spending time with me this evening. I'm Glennae, in case you're just coming in. I'm looking at my PowerPoint. Am I sharing it? Oh my God, you guys, I get so excited. Hold on, I'm not even sharing the PowerPoint. Oh God, I get so excited. Sorry, you guys. I get so excited. So let me screen share here. There we go. Share. All right. I get so excited, you guys. So sorry about that. Yes. So tonight we're talking about specifics in healthcare, measurable data, achievable goals, relevant products and services, and timeliness of partnerships. That's the smart part in Thinking Smart. Our Rx for Life, our mission, vision, and purpose. Our mission is to bridge the gap between workplace discrimination, health equity, and financial loss. And our vision is for every employee impacted by workplace discrimination to have a safe place to rest, strategize, and overcome institutional racism. And our purpose for existing is the prevention of preventable stress-related diseases. So the US healthcare system, we know that healthcare is a business, right? It's the hub for all other industries who complain of job stress. 75 to 95% of our workforce complain of job stress to their doctors. And still, 75% of diseases come from unhealthy emotion. there's a connection between job stress, us going to the doctor, looking for a solution to deal with the job stress. It doesn't even have to be like discrimination in the workplace, but just anything where you need to increase your confidence and become more empowered to set healthy boundaries in the workplace. We're not getting the solution when we go and see our doctors and our employee assistance program therapist or psychotherapist. You need information to understand what the process is for dealing with the employer and coming out on the other end whole and complete. This is why we're providing a community for men and women of whatever your background is to help you, who are vocal enough to say, hey, you're hurting me, stop it, and then go to a doctor for help. You should have sound health information from someone who has experienced it and know the process and has reached health equity. This is the only way that we're going to prevent poverty, disease, and early death for our nation's workforce. The bottom line is this: job stress and the burdens that's caused by it is not a mental health issue and should not cause our workforce to be labeled as a depressive person and put on medication because they're dealing with issues in the workplace, right? So equity efforts must include representation, advocacy, support, and education to apply anti-bias and anti-discrimination policy in real time, the real way, so that the people of God, or not even only the people of God, but people who believe in natural laws that if you do right, right will come back to you simply, when they're up against systems of discrimination, so that you overcome that challenge. It's a really big challenge, and our workforce has not been taught how to be empowered employees. All right, so let me see. If you have any questions, you can please put everything in the chat. I am moderating alone tonight. We have some very interesting topics for you this evening and some content to just make you think about what the process is and who should be of assistance for employees who are experiencing job stress, particularly workplace discrimination, which is a form of chronic job stress and kills our nation's workforce and causes increased death, disease, and poverty, suicides, and the violence and internal violence that it can lead to things like autoimmune disease, right? So can you see? I don't see my picture in picture. There we go. So discrimination and disease progression. As you can see here, this is like my 4th year, the last of the 4 years that I was experiencing discrimination, constraints, institutional constraints. I would go see the doctor and it was medication that they wanted to put me on. I would go, to employment, the human resources to talk to them or file equal employment opportunity administrative complaints. And I would not get the assistance that I think that our workforce actually deserves to be able to put their health first when they're going through such trying times as their employer and their faith, that conflict in that position. So this is what chronic pain looked like and the chronic dry red eyes. If any of you know what systemic lupus looked like, along with the mental complaints of it, I could have been diagnosed with that and, put on medication that actually would have hastened my death. And then when I think about how many Black women are experiencing discrimination in the workplace, who are head of household and are college educated, and then they all of a sudden get diagnosed with this inflammatory type disease that's attacking their own body, I wonder why. And I wonder if I can offer them some information that'll make them say, let me try that first. I think it's worth a shot. And then, the doctor, if you heard of Dr. Corey, who works for Kaiser Permanente, she had an experience with discrimination where she complained of GI issues, her stomach, and unable to eat and a lot of pain and everything. So I do believe that there's a connection, and I think that if we can get enough of our workforce inside of an education system such as RX for Life, where we can just really advocate and really teach and really have workshops that can help someone prevent despair. So if you're with me with that, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, a 45-pound weight gain from the steroids, pain medication, antidepressants, just to tolerate and keep a job was what I looked like on the left. Like, that's work-life balance right there on the left. After the storm, I returned to work, a fitting position, and I continued to write and continue to build my companies. Like, that's what I look like on the right. Like, good decision, right? Don't you think? Good decision. I want to help other people to be able to picture health for themselves. They make good decisions that are going to bring them health, wealth, and abundance. It's time for our workforce to see job stress differently, right? It's time for our workforce to go to their doctor and get health information and not medication exclusively, right? I think we can do this for our nation. Hi, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. So in our measurable part of the SMART, I just want you to know that according to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, every year across the nation, there are approximately 100,000 souls who file complaints of employment discrimination. So my agency framework uses the workplace because it's relatable and measurable, and the process of nursing because it's practical and evidence-based. And then my framework includes the word of the Lord, the word of God, because he is the truth. And standing on his word is what's missing from our healthcare system for people who are complaining of job stress and are fearful to make these decisions that are going to bring them health, wealth, and empower them to become industry leaders is what's missing, and it's causing the poverty and the suicide and the violence, the internal violence and the external violence. I said earlier that our internal violence can lead to autoimmune diseases and inflammatory processes because we know what to do, but we haven't been taught the steps to do it, the process, what it looks like. And so joining this healthcare community, this new healthcare brand that's led by nurses, myself, who are leaders in reaching health equity, will be able to help someone to compare and contrast what their options are and how to get support using the healthcare system so that they can do the right thing for themselves. This is equity. Equity cannot be given. Equity has to be pursued. Equity has to be learned and expressed from the individual who is in need for it. We can give equitable access and equality access to things, but because we're all individuals, we have to know what it is that we want, get the language to express that. The language is missing for so many people because of bias in the workplace. And I think coming into a facility such as RX for Life will be able to give people that language to bridge gaps in health disparities. Right? Good thing, you guys, right? I'm loving this. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you for giving me a moment to express my passions and why I do this, okay? Because we can have achievable goals. As the leader in reaching health equity, I want you to know where we're heading. From the hood to the boardroom, health is a nurse's business. We educate and we provide training using plain language to bring down walls, empower and promote work and personal health outcomes. We will be found in media across the US healthcare system, government agencies, and academia. Right? Tell me if you guys are in agreement with this. This is good stuff, right? Here are some of RX for Life health equity plans. You can download this file, if you can see it in chat, and it just goes over some of the consultancy, the health equity consultancy plans I have designed exclusively for the US healthcare system. So as an individual, these are not anything that you can elicit from me, but we can set up a strategy session to see what your needs are in your hospital setting and how I can provide service for that. But what I do have is, I'm gonna thank you before I go ahead with what I do have, is a timely connection that I hope inspires us for our healthcare workers and our healthcare professionals. Because when our healthcare professionals are knowledgeable and fearless to put health first, we are all protected, right? So a book club for executive leaders. We go over the 10 power moves here. To ending systemic racism. The cost of the book club is free. However, you have to pay $25 for the book and for taxes and shipping and handling. You can email me at yourrxforlife@gmail.com if you are interested. I do take payment via Venmo. And yeah, if you have any questions, I would love for you to get to know me better. I have 2 amazing books out, Bias and Burnout, that you can read. You can buy from Amazon, or you can place an order with me and come into our executive leadership. And then I have Yet Here I Stand, which really kind of documents, it's a memoir. It's a wonderful memoir. It's dark because there's a lot of experiences in here, but it's also a great release and triumph for the protagonist in here, which is me. But it kind of tells you the area of healthcare we're going to hit in my campaigns so that we can just change the trajectory of health disparities for people who look like me, people who have skin color like me, people who have gender as I, people who are educated and face discrimination in the workplace after feeling as if they made some proverbial equal playing field. So with that being said, I just want you to know these are our social media sites. I am now on Twitter. I found Twitter and I was like, hey, yay. I'm no longer on Facebook. I do all of my meetings on Zoom. So if you want to contact me for these book clubs or for our strategy sessions, please don't hesitate to give me a call. I would love to schedule a free consultation to let you know how it is that I can help you and if you and I are a good fit for one another, okay? With that being said, I just wanted to read, I have a note here to read chapter 4, just the opening. So hang on a minute, put my glasses on because I'm of a certain age and I can't see everything no more. So it says that the California state legislature once considered a collective bargaining law for registered nurses based on a disheartening view of our healthcare system, according to Assembly Bill number 1201. Quote, the institutional force of healthcare facilities and medical group providers has turned against the interests of patients and healthcare consumers as a result of managed care reordering and economic priorities and incentives. As a consequence, licensed direct care registered nurses are the only potentially effective means for assuring the provision of safe healthcare services for patients. They're talking about within the hospital setting, but I've chosen my own population, which is the workforce, okay? So in closing, I just want you to know that my students and clients call me the leveler. For them, I'm able to take a chance to help them gain the advantage over the opposition. I support them and recommend a purpose and a cause or a policy to help them compare and contrast their options compared to what they're trying to deliver them so they can evaluate their consequences of choices. Career professionals get to capitalize, they get advocacy and they get to level the playing field with our professional services of a registered nurse who is the leader in reaching health equity. So please leave me a comment. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram. Again, my Gmail account is yourrxforlife@gmail.com. Or you can go to my website, yourrxforlife.com, and download the 7 secrets your doctor never told you about healthcare. And there's an area where you can also ask any questions that you would like. Please tell a friend, a loved one, a colleague, a patient about RX for Life. We are here to protect those 100,000 souls who are lost every year to employment discrimination when they enter the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. It took 4 years for my case to resolve. That's 400,000 people who I know did not come out with winning lawsuits. One of my clients one time called an attorney, and the attorney told her to call me when you get fired. I showed you all pictures of what it looked like to wait to be fired. So let me know, okay? Help me help our nation. Until next time, be well. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Any questions?